Very hot box now. Hi, good luck. Okay, Miranda, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Wait, yes.
Okay.
I can hear. I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
Oh my God. We're doing it, girl.
I
Girl.
know. Finally.
Wait, are
Okay.
we live right now? Like, are we?
Yeah, we've
Can
been live for like the past 5 minutes.
Oh, really? Oh my God. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I just had like our starting soon screen. So
Okay.
for everybody on my TikTok, like check out our kick. My link is in bio. Oh my God, this wire. But yeah, we can kind of just get started then. Is there anything that we're missing? I'm just like triple checking all of our tech.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like we can like cut this part out
Yeah, no, for sure.
when we. Wait.
Wait, this wire is killing me. Hold on.
Okay. You do that. I'm literally ordering a smoothie because I think I might have like low blood sugar right now. And that might be why I'm being a raging bitch. Okay.
Do you want to order a smoothie before we kick started?
What do you mean? That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you're doing it right now? No, order it. Okay.
I actually don't know what I'm ordering though. Hang on. 994A194 next. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, also Miranda, if you can look at the Kick chat in case somebody messages something, that'd be great. It's like there's like a lot of shit going on my monitors right now.
Okay.
So it'd be easier.
Okay, no problemo. Let me, you know what? I'm not going to be able to get this smoothie. Okay, let me just get us onto the Kick.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Okay.
Okay. Good?
It's good, Morgs?
Yeah. Right, we can get started.
Okay.
Okay.
Let
me know when you're ready.
I don't know how to tell how many people are watching.
It's okay. There's probably nobody watching.
I think it's just
if anybody's watching, it's our amazing moderator Gabby.
Yeah, it's Gabby. Gabby, is anyone watching? No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, either way, we can get kick started because we have a lot on the agenda. So, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 17. This is episode 17. Holy shit! I know we've been taking like a break for a while. I think we haven't posted anything on Spotify for like 3 weeks. So
right. Okay.
Yeah, but we're back at it. And this is our first stream on Kick. So bear with us as we're figuring this out. And then this podcast episode is going to be uploaded to the usual Apple, Spotify, all of that stuff. So those will still be the same. But if you want to watch us ever live, we're shooting for every Wednesday around 5:30 Pacific time, in which we shoot the episode live on Kick. Is that right? Yeah. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
You covered everything. Yeah, so don't worry, guys. You will be able to watch this live. You can also watch the vlog on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Blood, Sweat, and Games. Yeah. You'll see the clips on social media, and you can also listen to just the plain old audio as regular on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're a little unsure about the audio quality, but you know, it's a work in progress. This is what we're doing. We have some exciting stuff, I think, coming up for the pod. We've made some contacts, and I feel like things are heading in an exciting direction. But we are a new pod, as you guys know, so we're like figuring a lot of stuff out. Yeah. So it's exciting. Morgan, what's been going on with you, girl?
Oh my God, this weekend I have been waiting for it. Amazon Prime came out with like a romance movie called Red, White, and Royal Blue. Have you heard of it or have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, I loved it. Like cinematically, it's like very like mid, obviously, but it's basically about these really really hot gay couple where one of them, his name is Alex. He is like the son of the president of the United States, and his lover is Prince Henry, who is a prince of England. I read the book. like a while back. I think the book came out in like
This sounds like
2019.
fan fiction
Oh
that
my
got
God.
made into a
Yes.
show. That's what it
Basically,
sounds like.
basically. And it was like, mwah, it was so good. I really, really genuinely enjoyed it. And I read a comment that I thought summed it up pretty well, of that like it felt really nice that this was just a love story and they happened to be gay, rather than like feeling like it's like a pushed agenda, like it's, you know, all of that stuff. So it was just, I don't know, they were just really hot. I actually watched it twice. I got high and I watched it 2 times in a row.
You're such a weirdo. Like, the level of weird that you get to. Like, I just never know what you're up to. You're a quirky gal.
Yeah, I just, you know, I just like I indulge a lot. Like if I love something, I just I do it again, or I watch it again, I eat it again until I'm sick of it, and
Yeah,
then I move off
yeah.
of it. Yeah, and that type of thing. So rather than like slow and steady, I like just go all in and I hyper focus. So yeah.
Yes. That's interesting. That's interesting. No, I if I like something, I like it. So I get it. I'm the same way too. And having a show to look forward to and then watching it, it's delightful. It's a delightful experience.
Yeah. I recommend it if you're like you know, like romance, you know, like cheesy romances, like that's the scratch that it itches. So it was pretty good. But I
Okay.
want to hear more about you, because I saw that someone tried to break into your home or something.
Oh yes, Morgan. They did.
That's crazy.
Broski, it was crazy. It was last Wednesday. I was coming home from a birthday dinner. It was like 11:30 at night. I was just like taking my makeup off in my bathroom, which is connected to my master bedroom. And yeah, I'm just in there and I'm taking my makeup off and I hear this like ripping sound and I thought it was my cat Rainbow and I walked into my bedroom. So like I'm in the bathroom, I take like 2 steps and I'm in my bedroom and the window's open but there's a screen and yeah, a man standing there with a knife and he is trying to break into my bedroom. And I went absolutely crazy, like batshit crazy, of course. Like my
Yeah.
instincts kicked in, which is very interesting because I've had a couple of my friends say to me, "Oh, you know, like I don't know how I would have reacted to that. Like I don't know if I would have frozen or if I would have like lost it." And I'm like, "Wow, it's so interesting." Because one thing that I learned from that experience is that a lot of the decisions and a lot of the actions that you're taking and making in this moment, you are not operating on any level of like it's hard to explain. Like I don't think you can ever really judge what anyone does in a crisis situation like that. Like not to be dramatic, but like
Yeah.
because I don't even know what happened. Like I was swear to God I like blacked out. I just started screaming and yelling at this guy and like he was I think like oh shit like she would be ready to fight me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if my reaction had have been to freeze up, then like how could I have helped that either? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
No.
But
I get it.
he
It's good that you seemed threatening back at them. I feel like they're way less
yeah.
likely to do something when they think you're going to retaliate. So
1000%,
God.
1000%.
I'm glad you're safe and that nothing. Oh, it was just fucking crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, the crime in my area has gotten really bad. Also, right now, guys, I am live on my TikTok. So I'm just really, if you're watching my TikTok and there's like 7 people watching my live, so not very many people are, but I'm live streaming on
should-
Kick right now. So
I
too many
should
lives
I should say
going
the
on.
same thing too. Yeah, if you're watching my TikTok, I'm streaming on Kick. You can look us up, Blood, Sweat, and Games Pod.
Right. Blood, Sweat, and Games Pod. And
No
yeah.
spaces. Well, I don't know if you can do spaces in it, but yeah, we're doing a I don't know, podcast. But like I guess for people who are watching live in any of these, like really quickly, like I'm Morgan. I mean, if you've been part of the podcast, you already know who we are. But like, I'm a
Right.
game dev. I was at Riot Games for a little bit. I'm at Amazon Games. I work on lots of different stuff, premium games, MMOs, live operations. And then if you want to see, I'm actually chatting with Sky, the voice of Sky, Miranda O'Hare. So she is who I'm chatting with. I don't know how to show it on TikTok because it just looks like I'm a one-way person where like one of us is talking and I'm just like,
Maybe we do like, I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know how to make it more obvious either.
we'll figure it out.
To be honest, we could be besties. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say to my audience as well, if you're watching this, I'm live streaming with Morgan Lynn. She's a game dev. She's with Amazon Games. She was with Riot. And I am Miranda. My name's Miranda. I'm Australian, but I live in LA, and I am a voice actor, most known for being the voice of Sky in Valorant. So yeah, welcome guys if you're watching in, God knows, many of the various ways in which we are live. It's kind of confusing, huh?
Yeah, I feel like in the future, if we can figure out the tech, we can figure out maybe a way to stream on TikTok where you can actually see both of us, so you're not just like tuning into our TikToks and someone's just like
Yeah.
you know, like just like nodding for like 3 minutes
Right.
straight. So
I wonder, should we get off?
I think you can go live together. Like there, okay, I haven't been
Yeah.
on TikTok before, but there's like a functionality where you can like go live together.
That's so true. There
I
is,
don't know how to
because
do
people have people have asked me to go live.
Should
Okay, do you
should
want
I
me to try to?
do that?
No, because I turned my live. Let me try to go
Oh,
live with you
okay.
because
I'm
I
gonna
have made
invite
it.
you.
No, because I said no one can invite me.
Oh, okay. So you invite me
Because
then.
because whenever I go live, I get all these notifications of people trying to go live with me, and I always decline them.
Oh, okay.
Fuck. Allow request. Followers. Wait, hang on.
Oh, we got a question. How are game devs familiar with the game they make? Saw Diablo devs playing the game, and it was cringe. Yeah, I think there's like, we'll have a section at the end where we will answer questions that we get in lives, whether it's on Kick or on TikTok. But while Miranda, since you're looking up anyway, I can just quickly answer that question. So I
Oh,
think,
go for it.
yeah, so when you think of like game developers, right, I feel like there's two major pieces in which you view your game. And this is from I'll say from like a design perspective. Like you are either designing for yourself, and that's what a lot of people like to do. They're like, oh, I love this type of game. I love this genre. I'm super passionate about it. Like I know
Morgan,
it's fun. Yeah.
Morgan, 1 second. I'm
Yeah.
gonna mute myself because I'm just gonna talk to my stream for 1 second. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
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 Yeah, all right. And then the other piece, and I think what makes good designers is that you can design for other people. Like the truth of it is you might be working on a game that's like not for you. Ooh, I'm gonna accept your. It's working. Okay, so I just need to like lower the volume on this. Sorry. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Great. Oh, you disconnected. Okay, let me accept again. But yeah, so you don't always get the case where like the people designing a game are actually the player base for themselves, right? And sometimes that's really evident. It's cringe when you watch them play. It's like evident in terms of like the progression systems, just the core gameplay doesn't feel that great. But like, I think really good designers can design well for other people. They truly understand, hey, who's the audience, who's their player base, what are their motivations behind it, what are the mechanics that they really enjoy, and they're able to like remove themselves out of it. And so I'm a firm believer that you can make a great game and not be the target audience for it, but it's a skill that you need to build up as you're in the industry. I don't even know if that person is still even in the chat listening, but that was my quick
Where did that
answer.
person ask? Did they ask?
TikTok live?
Oh, they didn't ask. They didn't ask the Kick stream.
Yeah, no, not the quick strip.
Babe, we can't upload this audio because this is the most fucking confusing shit.
I know. I'm gonna actually ignore the TikTok stream. I'm just gonna cut that part out when I upload the
Okay.
podcast. But maybe the video format will have it. But the audio format, like on Spotify and Apple, we're just gonna cut this out all the confusing parts.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
just do
'Cause
it.
it's a lot. Like a lot of stuff's going on.
It's literally a learning experience. It's fine.
Also, no one's commented right in the stream. Like
I
I
don't know. I
can't see
don't see it.
comments. Yeah, I mean on Kick.
I can bring it. I don't even have it up. Let me see. Let me check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some editing on this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, like, okay, I don't know how to turn off the volume if I'm
okay,
watching
I don't know
it.
how to turn off the volume if I'm.
I got it. I'm an idiot, but I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
No one's commented. Like new ones, I mean, right?
Why are the 5? Why is my words? I don't know why that's doing that.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
Are you seeing like the stars like in the comments?
Yeah, I
Like
see
it's like
that.
yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Gabby, if you like want to go in there and take a look, I think you have access as mod. Like, I'm trying to. It looks ridiculous. Like everything's a curse word.
I am dead. We
So
also
Diablo doesn't
don't
know
have to upload this audio if it's too crazy.
I think this part, but I think the rest of the podcast that we have structured out is like has some really good content in it, and so I do
Okay.
want to upload that
Okay.
part because we haven't uploaded
Got it.
in like 3 weeks or something like that. So
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move into gaming news.
Okay.
We once again, you are listening to Blood, Sweat, and Games. I'm Miranda O'Hare. I am a voice actor. I'm the voice of Sky. My co-host is Morgan Lynn. She is a game dev. And Morgan is going to discuss some gaming news with us. What do you have to discuss with us, young Morgan?
Young Morgan, I like it. Okay, so I did want to chat about Baldur's Gate 3. So that was released on the PC, I want to say, August 3rd. And it's actually seen some pretty massive success, which was like beyond their devs' expectations. So Miranda, like Baldur's Gate 3, it's an RPG. It was developed by Larian Studios. They're probably like most well known for their Divinity series. So they like Divinity Original Sin 2. Both are pretty, I would say, highly regarded. And it takes place within like the D&D Dungeons and Dragons IP. If you're kind of like, so I know you and I played our first D&D game recently, so I know you're like familiar with that
we
now.
have to do a fucking episode about
I want
that.
to.
That was
I would love to
crazy.
stream D&D. I think that would be so fun. I actually just got a new set of die. I'll show you later. It's really cute. They're pink. So
Dice?
yeah, I just got like a whole set recently. So they're cute. They're pink,
okay.
but going off topic.
Yeah, Morgan and I went to the craziest D&D night. I had a character. I was terrible, but it was a very
You were
interesting learning
great.
experience.
No, you
Don't
were
you think
great.
it was so interesting? I was like, damn, like learned a lot from it. It's
Yes.
a huge time commitment, but
It
yeah,
is.
I
We were
really
there for
enjoyed
like
it.
3 hours. And
Bro,
that's
that was crazy.
and like usually it depends, like campaigns can be done in a one shot, but like this campaign is going to be probably several sessions long. But yeah, oh my god, my foot is cramping. Okay, sorry. So back on top. So the director of the game, his name is Sven Vinnick, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. He actually revealed that he and his team were initially worried that the game's success had peaked during early access. So Baldur's Gate 3 was an early access where players could actually play all of Act 1 in the game. I think that's like 20, 30 hours of content. But that's been out since 2020, so like 3 years. And I've, because I work in the gaming industry, I've looked at data sources like Steam Spy, and they estimate that roughly like 2 million players purchased the game in early access. And now that the game has officially launched a few weeks back, it's estimated that 3 million units have been sold total across PC, and they haven't even launched on PS yet. So some crazy stats about it. Opening weekend, the Steam's concurrent player count broke 800,000. And so Miranda concurrent players just basically means that these are players who are playing all at the same time. So imagine like
Oh
800,000
shit.
players are like
Right.
playing at the exact same time, like they're online playing that game. So that's what it's referencing. So that's actually really impressive. It entered the Steam's top 10 most games, like most played games ever. I think it was the platform's second biggest launch of 2023, meaning it's like one of the biggest RPG launches. Like it surpassed even Skyrim, Fallout 4. But what I think is actually really interesting about this game is that it sparks some debate where game devs, not game devs on Baldur's Gate, but just like game devs in general, they called out that, hey, Baldur's Gate 3 is an anomaly. Like, that it shouldn't set a new standard for RPG genres. Like, with the success of this game, some, like, game developers are, like, urging players not to rate all other games in the genre by such a high standard. And a lot of players, like, heard this and they were like, what the fuck? It's a high quality game. Are you trying to say that we shouldn't set the standard, that games shouldn't be high quality? You know what I mean? Is like kind of like where the debate is coming from. And so I think the debate, I was trying to look like where this debate started from. I think it started on Twitter or X, right? Wait. It's so fucking, sorry. An X thread. And so his name is Sal Livier Nelson Jr. Again, I probably mispronounced the name, so I do apologize. Who's the head of Strange Scaffold, which is studio best known for like Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator. So like more smaller like indie game. But I was like looking down these like Twitter threads, and I kind of narrowed it down to like maybe the conversation started here. And his like quote was like a lot of people, I'm deeply excited about what the lovely folks at Larian accomplished with Baldur's Gate 3, but I want to gently, preemptively push back against players taking the excitement and using it to apply criticism or a raising standard to RPGs going forward. You can't separate a game from the process used to build it, so let's look at what Larian is taking into the development and the final version of the game. He then like added on like, hey, this is not a new baseline for RPGs. This is an anomaly, adding that like trying to reach that same bar without the same expectations, experience, and advantages could actually kill studios. And so it's a pretty interesting, I think, topic of discussion, one that I have my own opinions on, and I actually see both sides, but I'm going to talk a little bit about probably where he's coming from first, from like a developer's perspective. Basically, the game is like the story is fantastic. People really just enjoy the gameplay in itself, right? And it's generally like a very, very high quality game. But I think it's worth noting that the game started development back in 2017. So it's had a really, really long development cycle. Not only that, the studio, like I said, they had multiple games within the RPG genre that were successful, like the Divinity series. And so they had like a bunch of tech and like knowledge to draw from and like learnings from the fact that it was, those games were successful, right? They learned from it, they iterated on it, and they brought those learnings to the next game. The early access period was 3 years, which is fucking long, dude. Like some games are only in early access for a week, 2 weeks, a month.
Why would it have been 3 years?
So something I thought they did really well was that they took a lot of like player feedback from the early access and they used that and they iterated it on the rest of the game. Why it took 3 full years to do it, like, I'm not sure, but that's like they were actively like, again, listening to players, taking that in, all of that stuff. And not only that, I learned that their team is pretty huge. I think across 7 offices, like they have 400 developers. And then obviously they had a license for a pretty big entertainment IP, which is Dungeons and Dragons. So it's like he was saying, when you stack up all that context, that not every game studio has that. They don't necessarily have a team with a proven track record or a tech with a proven track record. Not every game has a resonant IP that people love. Some, like, back in 2017, God, that's like at least, I mean, they were working on this game for like 6 years, right? Not every game can have a long development cycle because it costs money to keep the studio open, to pay all the developers, especially if you have hundreds of developers doing it, right? So he's kind of taking all that pieces of information into context and saying, especially small studios, they don't have like those advantages that this team did. On the flip side, like from a player perspective, I'm like, okay, well, there are AAA game studios that come out with shit games all the time, right? And
Right.
like, and they have the funds, they have teams, they probably have some of the best talent, but they still come out with pretty bad games. So I think players had like a pretty bad response to it. They were like, you're trying to say like no, our game should be high quality, right? And like, why shouldn't that be the standard for it? So I definitely see both sides.
It's a funny like debate to be making. Sorry
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
if you're watching this, my cat is blind and her eyesight has really gotten a lot worse in the past like week or so.
Rainbow.
And so she gets upset a lot. Like she'll just start like screaming because she's like, I think she's confused about where she is. Oh, it's very stressful. It's really stressing me out. Um, she's already kind of a nutty cat, so it's really adding to it. Yeah, I kind of don't get it. I don't get why they are saying like don't hold it to this standard. Like, what's that about?
Basically, he's saying not every studio can come out with that quality of game, right? Because they had such a long time to develop it. They had such a
Okay.
strong team with a proven track record. They were Larian Studio is a smaller studio. From a size perspective, I mean, there's a lot of people in there, but when I mean smaller studio, like they don't always make like AAA games. Like sometimes it's like mid-size games, indie-size games, things like that. And so sometimes studios like that don't have to adhere to like the Microsofts of the world, are like, oh, I can just focus on quality. I can focus on getting this game out once we make
Right.
sure we hit those bars, right? And so I think that's what he's kind of saying is like, hey, they had a star team. They had a lot of time to do it. They had a great IP. Not every video game, not every RPG game has those advantages, which is true. But then he also makes you think of like a lot of these AAA games that come out with like mid quality, I don't know, just titles, probably has to do with like capitalism because it's like, hey, you can't have a 6, 7, 8 year dev cycle. Like you need to come out with something in 3, 4, 5 years, right? And like when you have rules from top down like that and a focus like more so on profitability rather than just the quality of the game, that often is shown in the game itself. So it's like, yes, I see like why players are mad because it's like, hey, like people should be making good quality games and shouldn't always be worrying about the top, like, profit. But at the same time, you need to keep a studio open. The rules of the world is that it is a capitalist society. So
Right.
yeah, I thought the debate was very interesting. It was something that my friends even brought up to me.
Um, yeah. I mean, listen, like I kind of think it's like making a Marvel movie and then being like, not everything is going to be as good as this, guys. So don't, it's like, well, yeah, but there are different genres of games. So it's like, I don't know if that's like a really like good point to be making in a way, because it's kind of like saying like, I don't know, like art is subjective. So I guess he's talking at it from like a capabilities viewpoint as opposed to storytelling and stuff. But
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
if the point you're making should be don't expect anyone else to be as good as this. That's like a really bizarre point to be trying to make.
yeah,
You
I
know
don't.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to make that point though. I think he's trying to say like this isn't the standard. Like all RPG games aren't going to be at this level. Like don't expect every RPG game to be like as good
But
at
why can't
Baldur's
they
Gate.
be? Why can't they be?
Well, for the reasons that he listed. Like some teams are too small, they're too inexperienced, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough, some studios don't have enough money to like have a 7 year dev cycle. Like imagine like you're
Shouldn't like just to play devil's advocate, like is that a good enough answer?
I think what he's saying is really fair, only because there's a lot of nuances to it, but like let's say it's a small studio, right? It's, obviously a small studio of 50 people isn't going to create a game that took 400 people to make. You have less people to work on it. So obviously their game is not necessarily it's going to be bad, but the expectations are going to be different. Some studios don't have enough money to last 6-7 years to develop a game, because basically if you're taking 6-7 years to develop a game and you're not launching anything in the meantime, you're not getting any revenue. So how do you make sure that you keep the lights on? How do you make sure that you pay all your people fairly when you don't have any revenue for 6 or 7 years?
Right. I know what you're saying. And then it's like, yeah. It goes back to your point about capitalism and corporations. And then the only companies that can exist are big companies like Amazon Games and Riot and things like that. And these small companies can't move up in the world, and we don't get innovative ideas that way,
Yeah, I think there's like unique challenges for small studios to get to that quality. There are unique challenges from even AAA studios. You would think AAA studios have less good reasoning, I would say, like for not coming out with like amazing quality games with great storylines, great gameplay, great mechanics. But you're still finding the case where like AAA games come out and they're like mid,
like a flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably due because it's like
Right.
run like a truly just like a business, and they're not being player focused at all. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a really
which
healthy
I
discussion.
think, yeah, it's a really interesting point, actually. And I know where you're coming from. I think what he's saying does make sense. And I think like it is important in every industry to have smaller companies that exist that are trying to make content. It can't just be the big guns, and so I guess in that way I understand it. I guess initially when you started talking about it, it kind of sounds like he's saying like, don't expect everything to be as good as this. And it kind of sounds like a little like whingy or something.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
guess like
saying?
it does come off like that a little bit. I think that's why like
does a
some
little.
players heard that and they're like, really? It sounds like you're just making excuses,
Yeah. Totally. But I know what you're saying. And I think there's room for all of it, really. It sounds like.
Yeah, no, I think there is. So, but yeah, I thought that was super interesting. I was like down a rabbit hole looking at all those X threads. We don't call them Twitter threads
yeah.
anyway, right? It's weird.
Oh, you can say Twitter. I mean, I don't think I'm going to stop saying Twitter.
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot for changing the name. Good Lord. I just can't.
Okay.
Do you mind if we end the live on TikTok? Because
Yeah.
I'm feeling like so distracted by it.
Me too, because I feel bad because we're not like engaging with
We're
the
not
chat.
interacting, and I feel like it's probably so annoying.
Agree, I'm gonna end it.
And thank you so much for anyone who's watched us, and I love you guys so much. Sayed, you just said no, but if you want to come on Kick, babe, you can totally just watch us here. We're doing the exact same thing here. So come and watch on Kick. I love you guys so much.
Now
Okay.
that, also, babe, now that there's like a function for, I didn't realize that they had this where you can like stream on TikTok together. That might be
Yeah.
like, if we don't want to do Kick, we can just do TikTok live stream and like run it like a podcast, but be more engaged to the comments. I don't know if that would work.
You
well,
know,
though.
Morgs, that TikTok has a podcast function.
I didn't know that.
It's new.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Other things to think about if Kick doesn't work out.
I know. The only thing about Kick that is so, and we're always like open to this. Like we actually got an invite to TikTok podcasts on our TikTok podcast for Blood, Sweat and Games. And they were like, do you want to upload? And I was looking at it today. And the reason that, we are using this space is because, for obvious reasons, being that, Kick is where gamers are. So it's like we're trying to come to the platform to which they exist. So in my mind, it makes sense. But we also have a following on TikTok. So then it's kind of like that also makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, let's chat after the pod, but interesting times.
Yeah, and we can try multiple things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so early
Yeah.
on in this, we can see what works, doesn't work. And then even with TikTok, most of our followers are gamers. So it is still
Yeah.
technically going where they are just because of like our content. So, okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, let's move on to our next segment. Should I sweat this? Okay, I have
Let's
two
do it.
stories for you. Okay, ready? And for those that are, I guess, watching our live and have never been before, basically, Should I Sweat This? We get stories submitted by anonymous people that submit to our website or to our socials, and they'll basically just tell us anything like gaming or gaming adjacent related stories, and we just comment it. Maybe they're funny, maybe they're really serious, maybe they're asking for advice. But yeah, I'll jump right into
Okay.
the first one. Okay.
Okay. I'm listening. You just know that I have to order something on Postmates because I can't.
Yeah.
just can't live like this.
Get your
So
smoothie.
thank you. Just to tide me. Just to tide me over. Yeah, go on.
Okay, ready? Okay, so first one. This happened to me a while ago, but I wanted to submit it anyway. Should I sweat this? I, 24 female, along with my boyfriend, 29 male, love the Zelda franchise. When Tears of the Kingdom came out, I was kind of obsessed. It's worth noting that I'm a streamer, so my working hours aren't like most people's. At first, I was only playing a couple of hours a day, saving it as a bonding moment with my boyfriend, but then I noticed I kept putting more and more time into it on my own. I was playing after dinner, playing on the TV, like in a room away from my boyfriend, and I started neglecting my boyfriend even. He would wake up for work, and I was finally going to bed after playing all night. This happened for several days in a row, and one night my boyfriend told me I should stop and tried to physically take the game from my hand. I literally yanked it back and yelled at him. I got to the point where I wasn't streaming as often. I was canceling plans with family and friends, etc. I mean, I've since calmed down, but I thought it would be an interesting story to share.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this is like interesting because it actually chats about something that we haven't touched on a lot in our podcasts, which is actually oh my god, I'm totally like brain farting, which is addiction. Like addiction in video games. Like you and I have
Right.
chatted about what that looks like
You and I
outside
have
of the
talked about this a
podcast.
lot. Yes.
Yes, but we never really introduced the topic here on an actual podcast. So I think it's a good job of somebody just knocked on my door.
Oh, do you want to go get it? This
No,
podcast
I'm
is
just
already
gonna-
crazy
I'm
as
just
it
gonna
is.
Ignore them. No, it's good. I have to timestamp these so I remember what to
Like
remove.
things
Or
have
maybe
already
we
gone
just keep
awry.
this part in. Like, what? It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So, but yeah, no, I think like addiction, especially to video games, like is a very real thing, right? This person was addicted to Zelda, but it's like it brings up like an interesting part of like human psychology as well, and like sorry, I don't mean to like rant about like game design, but like when you think of things like gacha systems, right, where they literally are like gambling systems and they give you dopamine hits for opening up like random loot boxes and stuff like that. So there are actually like mechanics in games that are designed to give you dopamine hits so that you are more likely to come back to the game
Right.
later.
Yeah.
But yeah, damn, I'm trying back to her story specifically.
Well, okay.
She seems to
can
have
I-
gotten over it though, which is good.
So she just wanted to share, like, to just say that, like, it was kind of crazy. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
love the idea of the boyfriend, like, yanking it out of her hand.
Yeah.
That's not really the vibe. But okay, I was listening to this podcast on addiction, and it was with someone who was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and it was really interesting. And he had this researcher on, I think it was a psychiatrist, and they were discussing how they actually struggled with addiction, and it was so severe that they had to, go to a help group and like see a psychiatrist themselves. But it wasn't for drugs or alcohol, it was for romance novels. Now you might be thinking, oh my goodness, like that's not really an addiction. But when I listened to this woman describe like how it was affecting her life, her job, her family, her relationships, it really was an addiction for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think addiction is anything like we don't. I mean, video game addiction is definitely very recognized, but we really kind of more think of addiction in terms of like drugs, right? Like
Yeah.
drugs, alcohol, like let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
But addiction can take on many forms, and you can be addicted to love. You can be addicted to fucking so many things. So I think it's really valuable to talk about it. And I do think that addiction exists within gaming. And I think it has a lot of layers because I think sometimes it's also like a lot of addiction is about numbing something and
Mm.
also escaping into like a fantasy world. And what better way to do it than to fucking game, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And she brings up the point where it's like impacting other elements of her life that were important. Like she said she was streaming less, she was canceling plans with family, friends, right? And so I think it's
Right.
really an addiction when it's notably impacting the way that you can socialize, the way that you can engage with other parts of your life that were once healthy.
Mm,
And so it's
yeah. Yeah, if you struggle with gaming addiction, we should definitely try to find some resources that
yeah.
we can mention. But I would reach out to a therapist, mention it to your parents, to a friend, like look for ways in which you can gain support. Like
Mhm.
don't keep it to yourself, and like don't feel ashamed or embarrassed. Like I know that often comes with any kind of addiction, but it's like really valid.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm.
How did that person know they were addicted to romance novels? I'm just asking for a friend.
I can't remember. You know what? I literally will find you the episode, but I think maybe her husband said something, but I remember she noticed
Mm.
it was really bad when she was on a holiday with her family, and she just spent the whole holiday like trying to read the book and like trying to get
Mm.
caught up in the book and stuff. And she was
Yeah.
like, she had this like moment where she was like not spending time with her family, and like she was embarrassed. She was like, whoa, like I've gone way too far with this. Like, why can I not do this? And it's because I think her life was like, she was a mother, she was a high level psychiatrist. She had so many responsibilities and pressures in her life. And she just wanted to like escape to this world where she was just in this love affair. And like, I think that
Yeah.
makes so much sense, dude. Like, life is so hard. Like, for so many people, no matter where you're at in life. And I think it makes sense that we all want to fucking escape from it.
Yeah, I would love to actually speak to like a professional expert on it just because I'm like genuinely really curious of like is there a different if there is any a difference between addiction and like someone who like hyper focuses on something, which tends to be like you spend all your time on something, maybe it looks like addiction, but it's like done for a short amount of time. And I wonder if there's
Mm.
like you
Isn't
can
that
have
autism?
both. Um, if you have ADHD, you can hyperfocus. I know that people with bipolar disorder actually, depending on what type, can also hyperfocus on things. I do think that is related to autism as well. So I think lots of different types of people with different types of mental, I don't know the right word. I want to be really careful there. But basically, it affects lots of different types of people across a really, really broad range. Um, but yeah, but that's something that I've done. Like do you know what manhwas are? They're basically
No.
like it's like it's like not anime. It's basically like manga, but it's the Korean form. So it's like like a comic, basically like comic book strips.
Okay.
And they're like like there's a lot of romance ones, and there may have been last month a time when I was like voraciously reading these like like I literally pulled two all-nighters and then
What?
I was reading like crazy, and then I would like sit in the meeting and then I would have my phone, like you see how like you can't really see, but I'm like holding my phone to the side, and I would like read
Oh my
if I
God,
didn't if I didn't need to
Morgan.
like engage in the
This is
meeting.
personal for you.
Yeah,
You're
that's what I was
losing it.
saying. But I'm over it now. I literally did it, and then now I'm not like that. So, was I
You're
addicted?
you're such a lunatic. I think that for you, that is Well, you have ADD, so it's probably the ADD. Maybe you
Yeah.
have some light autism in there as well.
I've never
Just
got
a little.
myself checked. I can. That's true. I love.
I'm
Look
such
at
a.
us just diagnosing me. Like,
I'm
so
such a
fucking.
bitch. I mean, I was thinking this about you like a couple of days ago. One thing about you is sometimes you are unintentionally so brutal, and I'll be like,
Bro?
oh, I'll be like, holy shit.
Oh.
You'll just say something like so like direct, and I'll be and I really like it makes me laugh because A, I'm like that too.
Uh huh.
And B, it's like such an Australian thing to be like that. Like we just say what we think all the time, and I've unintentionally like, and Americans are so much no offense to Americans, but they're so much more sensitive and so much less likely to be like very direct. I have noticed, but you're also an East Coast girl, so I'm kind of more talking about West Coast people. But yeah, sometimes you're just so direct, and I'm like, God. I really like, I'm like really into people like that. Like one of my closest friends, Bailey, is like that. And I'm just like, I live for it.
God.
I live because I also feel like I can say shit to you and you're not going to get offended. And
Yeah.
it's just so much easier. Like, of course, I'm not going to say hurtful shit to you, but like, I can be real with you and I don't have to tiptoe around things. Like, you're going to know I'm joking,
Yeah.
or you're not going to be offended if I'm like, hey, this and this. You're just like, okay, yeah, heard you, got it, you know?
That's true. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've been told, I've been told that I definitely feel like an East Coast Asian. Because because like Asians that are like born and raised on the West Coast just have different vibes. I guess the way they approach maybe communication, and nothing is bad or good, but it's just different. And I'm born and
Right.
raised in Jersey, and so I've just
Yeah,
been
you got
told
that
that.
Jersey. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what a East Coast Asian is like unless it's like you, in which
I
case I
don't know.
do know.
Yes, I'm
But I don't know
representative of
any.
all East Coast Asians. That's correct.
I don't really know any like West Coast Asians, I don't think. So I don't know if I could like necessarily comment, but I definitely know a lot of West Coast people, and I
Yeah,
feel like I love West Coast people a lot, but I definitely it's something I struggle with in my relationships, and it comes up again and again, and I'm like, "Go, can you just?" I even did it this morning. I went to Pilates, and then after class, I was like talking to my friend, and I was just like, "Go," like I sometimes am just like, "Oh yeah," like I'm too honest, and it's. I wish I could like tone it down a little bit, but it's never intentional.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like, when I'll see someone and I'll be like, oh shit, like they seem a little offended. I shouldn't have said that. I
yeah,
should have beat around the bush a little bit. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
I feel like with you, especially, I think I've like, sorry, we're going so off topic. This is meant to be, but basically, I was like, because I've been a corporate girly for a while now. I feel like I mask that when I'm in the corporate world or I'm like meeting people for the first time. Where
Yeah.
I'm very like careful, I'm like very intentional about my words, not to be fake at
Yes.
all, like, but just so that I'm not
Yes.
accidentally
You're
saying
professional. You're
something that
very
is.
professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like as you get to know me and I'm comfortable with you and I better understand, hey, what's the communication style that works well for you, then like I just say whatever.
Yeah, totally. No, I've really always worried about that with me in corporate situations because I've never been in a corporate situation. So I have a long running history of just saying I don't ever really have to filter what I say. Not a good thing, by the way. Definitely not a good thing as you get older. So that's definitely, I'm sure if I ever had a job, like a, more corporate job, that I would have to watch what I said, and have to learn that. And that could be something that could come up for me.
It's a skill. Like even like
It's
PR
the
is
skill.
similar. Like when you practice like what you're saying in
Yep.
interviews, like those are you just need to build it over time. Like some people
Yep.
a lot of people aren't good at it right away, to be honest.
No, but
So,
don't you think I would be great for reality TV?
oh my God, 100%. Listen, with all the strikes going on, isn't
Yeah.
reality TV going to be like the big thing? That's what happened last time.
For sure,
It's your
yeah,
time to shine.
probably. Yeah, I should get on a reality TV show because, like, I'm reality TV gold because I just don't have a filter. I mean, I would never go on reality TV because I just couldn't physically stomach it. But I mean, I do think I'd be good at it.
Maybe you just need to find the right reality TV show. I don't know. Maybe there'll be more options and types. Like, it's not just about dating and hot people and, like, though you would fit in perfectly. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see, baby.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next
Let's
one.
move to the next one.
Okay.
Should I sweat this situation? I, 28 male, recently introduced my girlfriend, 22 female, to my group of Discord friends, parentheses, all dudes. This group and I have been friends for a few years now, and we played a bunch of different games together. My girlfriend plays games too, and so I wanted to invite her, and she seems to really get along with the group. We all recently decided to meet up in person in Vegas to actually hang out. I brought my girlfriend with me since she's become friends with them too. During this time, I noticed that her and one of my friends hit it off well, and she was mostly hanging with him the whole time. One night we went out for karaoke to get drunk. I know, it's getting serious. One night we went out for karaoke to get drunk, and she never came back to my room, like, until the next day. And I found out through our other friends that she stayed up late all night talking to, that person. The thing is, she lied to me when she came back to saying where she was and hasn't brought it up since. Should I be worried? Yes.
Yes, you should be very, very worried.
She's emotionally cheating on you, at the very least.
Holy shit, dude. Your girlfriend's cheating on you. Wait, did we lose each other?
No. Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you should be worried. Yeah, this girl's shady. That's like so inappropriate. And I don't even care if they get along well. That's like so rude. And like, imagine if you did that to her with one of her girlfriends. Like, everything about that is bad.
Agreed.
There's really no side of it that is like, there's no explanation for this. Like, there's nothing that you can really say that can justify, like, her not coming home. Like, I'm glad she gets along with your friends. Like, that's great. But, like, nothing about this is okay. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's a big red flag.
I know.
And also, your friend should not have been hanging out with her. This, like, everything about this is just bad. You need to talk to the friend. You need to talk to your girlfriend. You probably just need to break up with her. Yeah, this is not good.
It's a messy situation. It's a messy situation. And it's like, it's not even like she was friends with them first for a while, where she had like a bond with these people before she met you. It's like you introduced them to her, and I don't know, bad vibes all around.
Bad vibes, broski. I mean, I don't even know like how you couldn't. Yeah, get on it, babe. You gotta be, get on the phone and be like, listen. And I would just be so direct with it. Like, I'd be like, okay, this is what's inappropriate. I honestly, like, if it were me, I'd be like, the relationship's over. So you can just explain to me what is going on. Like, oh my God, I would have broken up with that person so quickly. But maybe I'm crazy.
No, honestly, me too. Honestly, me too.
This is cheating.
Like, it's like, I just can't think of a really good excuse, especially where she like didn't tell him about it. You know what I mean? Was like skirting that conversation, didn't bring it up herself. It's just like which kind of tells me that she knows she's doing something sketch. She knows she's doing something that she wouldn't want done to her. Usually I'm team girly, but this time maybe you gotta drop her.
You gotta drop her. Yeah. Boy.
And maybe drop your friend.
Yes. I've never given such like direct advice, but this is a very open and shut case to me.
Yeah. Usually we're like, have a conversation. Like, that's been our advice. Like have a conversation, feel it out. But this feels.
No.
Maybe we're both crazy, but it just feels to me.
Sayonara, baby.
Yes. Bye, bitch.
You're single now, sir. Slide in.
And a better man for it. I don't know. We're going to stop. Okay. That's it. I only had 2 for today because I know that we're actually over time. But okay, we did get some questions from our followers. So we posted on like Instagram, TikTok, hey, if there are any questions that you have for us, like we'll address them now. That's a perfect time if you have questions that you want to put in chat. That's also great. Except our chat right now is fucked up. So if we're able to read what you're writing, then we will read it. But I have some questions that were sent in. So okay, the first one, what was your biggest inspiration when you started the podcast?
Oh, I have some questions too. Did I add these?
You didn't add them. You can add them to the here. You have the link,
I can
right?
just
Or you could just read them.
I just read them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to address this one first and then go to yours?
Oh, yeah. Actually, a lot of mine are like specific to me, so I would prefer the more podcast ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only have one real specific podcast one.
Oh, perfect.
What was the inspiration for the podcast? Well, so I came to you, didn't I?
Yes. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
brief history. I know many of you guys may have heard it already. Like Miranda was hosting a like Gamer Girl Talk series that basically highlighting like the stories of women in gaming. And I thought it was really awesome. I reached out to her. I did that. And then she came back to me and was like, what if we do a podcast? Because we really realized like when you look at gaming in general, like I've said this so many times, like globally, like women and non-binary almost make up 50% of all gamers. But when you look at like communities, when you look at things like even like how many podcasts, gaming related podcasts, there are so few hosted, led about women talking it from like just like a more female perspective, right? And so we saw that there was like a really huge gap in it, and we had an interest. We talked about this stuff on our own. So that's kind of just where it came from.
Yeah. And it took us a really long time to figure out exactly what the podcast was. It went through many different identities initially. And what it is now is so like I feel like natural to us, and I don't feel ever awkward, which I think is something at the beginning of a pod. Like it's kind of crazy that like you and I kind of just like are very chill, like we vibe, and we Morgan and I are extremely different people. We fit in with each other quite well in this sense. Like we just work together well, I feel like. And yeah, we have good communications and stuff. I constantly text Morgan. She replies at the end of the day.
I know. I'm so bad about it. I check all my messages at night. So if you text me something in the morning, I probably won't see it until nighttime.
I just sent Morgan a stream of consciousness.
I have to respond. I did read it right before I jumped on. I just have to respond to you about it.
I didn't even know what I text you. The thing is, I text you and I don't even remember. So it's like, I'm not offended, like at all. Like but I'm just like a texter. Like I'm like, bah, 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 bah. Like it's all my thoughts throughout the day about like the pod or whatever. But yeah, I think we both work well together, and I just knew I wanted to do it with a woman. And I mean, who better than Morgan? You know, she works in the industry. I think what is really unique about Morgan and I was talking about this today in an email that I was sending about the pod. The first thing is we have such unique perspectives on this industry, particularly Morgan. But Morgan's this avid gamer, lifelong gamer, and she's now working in the industry as a game developer. She's very familiar with the industry and what makes it tick. And I'm just this actor that a few years ago just got thrust into this world and has really learnt a lot about it along the way. And I've made these friends, and I've kind of just, it's changed my life, and gaming has changed my life in so many ways. So that's unique about us. And then also we're women, and we're outspoken, and we're feminists, and those things really set us apart in a very male dominated industry and space. Yeah. That
was really well said. I don't even have much, like anything to add to that.
I was like, Morgan?
I was like, yes, agreed. I love when Miranda showers me with compliments.
I'm a very that is like the type of friend that I am though. Like I'm very I'm a hype girl.
Yeah. You know? And I love that about you. And I feel like I'm a little bit similar, and probably not to the same amount as you are, but basically if you're my friend, I really like you. Like
Yeah, same.
that means I have tons of awesome things to say about you, because otherwise I wouldn't want to keep you around if I thought otherwise. And they're like, you know. So, okay. Oh, Miranda, did you want to have your question from your follower that was related to the podcast?
Yeah, someone just asked how the pod started, which
Oh,
is
we
we
touched
just
on.
really answered it. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I have two more questions.
Okay.
Do you guys offer mentoring in breaking into the games industry? And I guess for
I've
yours, it'd be
told
more of like voice act.
Morgan she should.
And I guess
Morgan
you can
should.
answer it from like a voice acting perspective, like if you offer mentorship there. For me, I actually do offer mentoring.
Oh my
I realize
God.
it takes like a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And so I've been pretty picky and choosy of like who. And it's not like, hey, you need to have this stacked resume like in order to be, I don't know, mentor. I can't even believe that I'm even mentoring people to begin with. But yes, I do. I'm pretty choosy about it because I don't have that much time between work, all the stuff, content creation, the podcast, things like that. And if you guys know about me, like I'm very passionate about making the industry more diverse, more inclusive, more accessible, right? And so like I want to get like women who love games, right, and have never done, have never made a game before. Like those are the people that I tend to do. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to take a man, or it doesn't matter what you identify as. I still would, but I really do kind of think of it as like how can I bring unique perspectives into the gaming industry that we're not really seeing today, and that's often like kind of how I view and I choose people to do that. So if you're really interested, though, feel free to message me on LinkedIn. Please don't be butthurt. I don't respond to a lot of them, but sometimes I read them, and if your story is really compelling, I will actually respond.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's amazing. I also think like if you're at college, you could ask a professor or something like that. Like I'm sure there's a way around that. I certainly do not offer mentoring, nor would I. I would not feel I personally do not feel at the point in my career where I could ever offer someone mentoring. I just don't think I'm successful enough, to be really honest with you. So, like, I think there are plenty of people that could mentor someone as a voice actor, and I would just get a voice coach. I have a voice coach and a mentor, and I love her very much. She's very fucking amazing, but she's been working for years. She's had like a really fucking insane career, and I'm just at the beginning. But if you ever have a question, you can always comment it on a TikTok, and I can try. I make a lot of videos responding to questions about stuff like that, and I actually have already made TikToks regarding it. So feel free to go and look at those, or like we have a voice acting episode where I talked about it really specifically. But yeah, feel
That
free to
was a great
comment on a
episode.
video.
Yeah.
Thank you, babe. Yeah, feel free to comment on it and stuff, but yeah, I definitely won't be offering mentoring at this point. Maybe further on down the line, but right now, no, just not. I just would feel like an idiot trying to give someone advice. It's like being
Oh.
single and like running like a dating service. Like, I don't know, like I'm just still figuring it all out as I go. I guess it's maybe imposter syndrome, but it just would feel weird to me.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm always like, you need to give yourself some credit because you have voiced some iconic characters in the game industry, Zephyr, Sky, you know what I mean? And like, you're extremely talented. And so I already know you have a bright future ahead of you. So yeah.
Thanks, Morgs. Thanks, baby. We'll see what happens when SAG stops striking. But yeah.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a real darkness, but that's okay. I'm glad they're striking what we stand with SAG.
Yes. I drive by them when I go into the office.
Yeah.
Because I go to the Culver City Amazon office, which is a studio's office. It's like not even gaming, it's like entertainment.
Oh yeah,
Very
they're out
interesting.
there.
Oh,
They
yeah,
must
yeah.
that must
They're
that
picketing.
must be a real thing. Have you seen them like every day?
Every day. Like before I go parking in, like I stop and I wait till they walk so I can go into the garage.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
And I'm just like, I stand with you. And then I go right into the Amazon corporate
You're
office.
honking. And they're like, corporate devil,
I know.
capitalist pig.
Okay. But guilty, but true. Okay, our last question. What upcoming events are we excited for? Oh, you mentioned one to me in the text. Yeah, today. Valorant?
Well, yeah, Valorant Champions
Yes.
is this week and next. And so I spoke to someone at Riot today about going to it. And then you and I are also going to try to go to this other Valorant event that I completely forget the name of.
On Tuesday, right?
Pardon?
Was that the one on Tuesday? The one where you sent me the event page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Valorant Champions is different. You know what that is, right? Like
Yes.
it's esports. Yeah.
Yeah, the esports.
Oh, that would be fucking sick to go to, but I don't think you're going to be able to come with me. I asked for a ticket for you too, but I don't think you're going to be able to come with me because I think you're out of town. But I'll see what they say.
Okay.
But yeah, I spoke to Riot today, so we'll see what happens with that. And that's it. Like, I can't work right now until the strike ends. So yeah, what events are you excited for?
Sorry, my husky's like huffing in the background. I think he needs to pee. I don't have any big events coming up. I'm going to a Chainsmoker event this Friday.
Oh, okay.
That's probably not what they were asking about, but I'm mildly excited for. I'm more excited to go with cool people, less
Yeah.
excited about Chainsmokers themselves.
Yeah, I like the Chainsmokers though. They're like decent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Vegas for the first time next month. Like this time next
First
month. And I'm
time?
excited.
I
Yeah, I've
didn't
never
know
been.
that. I didn't know that. I
Yes,
love Vegas. I don't even
Oh, I'm
drink. I just
excited.
love Vegas. It's just the vibes.
Yeah, I might actually, depending on what happens, I might take a break from drinking for like 2 to 3 months. So, which
Ooh.
is crazy for me because like love I'm a party gal.
So
Although
you
lately,
text me on a Wednesday, you're like, I'm hungover.
I mean, I don't really have like a fucking real ass job, so I can go out whenever I want. I actually don't really go out on the weekends. Last week, bro, like my social battery's definitely like running out. Like I had 4 birthday parties last week, and I was just like, at the end of it, I was like, I can't live like this, dude. Like, just can't. Like, I'm definitely like getting older and like less interested and just more happy to just do my own thing. Like the older I get, the more I'm like just happy to be at home, you know? It's like minding my own business. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll always love going out and being social, but like I'm getting to be a little bit more balanced about it, which is good.
Yeah. Try it. Take a gummy, go watch Red, White, and Royal Blue twice in a row. And let me know
Firstly,
how it goes.
I'm not a romance comedy gal, but
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it
my
does sound
guilty
like
pleasure.
the idea of it sounds fun. Sounds cute.
The sex scenes were great.
Ooh, I love a sex scene. I love
It was really
a
hot.
sex
But they're
scene.
both just so attractive.
Right.
Obviously, they're
Yeah.
gay in it, but I'm just like, I had a good time this weekend. I literally like popcorn,
Okay.
chocolate, and I literally watched it twice. And it's not even that
Josh
good.
is like, I don't want to.
Josh watched it with me the second time.
Ooh,
And I would literally,
what did he
I would
think?
literally be like, no, he enjoyed it. He thought the chemistry between the guys was fantastic. I would literally pause it and be like, did you see that? Did you see that chemistry?
I wonder if they're hooking up in real life. I'm always down for a showmance. Like, is it like, I always wanted to know the tea.
Me too.
Like, if they're two gay guys, if they're two hot gay guys, like, come on. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think
Like,
they've said their sexuality in real life though. Like they could just be both totally straight dudes playing gay guys. That I'm not quite sure.
interesting. I will say showmances are a real ass thing. Like it's pretty hard to not fall in love with someone on a set, especially when you're pretending that you're a couple.
Yes, it happens all
Like,
the time.
yeah.
Ariana and that little that guy. I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, no, I know. So
I don't know what that was about. Ariana's kind of, I don't know. I don't like Ariana Grande. Wait, we need to cut that part out. I'll get attacked on the internet. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, in post, I'll just take that out.
Yeah, take that
Or
out.
I'll just bleep it and be like, I love Ariana over it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, "Ee." All right, I gotta pee real bad, so we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. And listen, who knows what's next? Maybe next we'll be on TikTok on the podcast. But shout out to our moderator, Gabby. I won't say your name just in case. We love you so much. Thank you for moderating for us. Shout out to anyone who watched us on TikTok Live or on Kick. And you're all legends. Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.